How's it going, everybody? This is Dutch Baker from Vulcan Creative Imaging, and today I'm going to be covering the assembly of our one-sided shoppable wooden rack. When you open the box, included will be your back piece, 2 sides, 4 shelves, your header, and your bag of screws and Allen wrench. Before we begin assembly, we're going to want to make sure that the orientation of our rack is correct. The front top of our rack is going to be the corner that is rounded, as can be seen here, and the front of our shelves is going to be the side that does not have any pegs on it. To begin assembly, we're going to take our first shelf and we're going to place the pegs inside of the holes on the side. The important thing is to remember the orientation of the rack. We want our front side of our shelf facing the front of our side. Place the side such. After you've got your first shelf in place, we're going to go ahead and turn the rack on its side. We're going to take our first screw here and we're going to go ahead and finger tighten that screw into the corresponding hole. You're going to repeat this process with all 4 shelves, working your way from top to bottom of the rack. After we have all 4 shelves placed in the side and all 4 of our screws hand tightened, we're going to take the rack and we're going to stand it back up on its side, and we're going to take the other side of the rack and place it on top. It's important to remember that the front of the rack is the rounded corner here, and we want to make sure that that corresponds to the rounded corner on the other side of the rack. We'll go ahead and place this on top of our already existing assembled rack and begin to align the pegs with the holes on the second side of the rack. Now that we have the second side of our rack in place, you can go ahead and grab the bag of screws and begin to hand tighten screws in the second side of the rack, just as we did the first. Now that we have all of our 4 screws placed and hand tightened on the second side of our rack, we're going to go ahead and turn the rack front side facing down in preparation to put the back piece on our rack. Much like we did side 2, we're going to take our back piece and place it on top of our rack, and we're going to work from top to bottom, placing the pegs inside of the corresponding holes. Now that we have our back piece placed into the rack, we're going to take our last 4 screws, working from top to bottom, hand tightening into the corresponding holes. Now that you have the rack entirely assembled and all 12 of your screws hand tightened and in place, we're going to go ahead and take our Allen wrench and begin to fully tighten those screws down. No need to over tighten these, just make sure that it is a good snug fit. Now that we have our rack completely assembled and all of our screws tightened, we're last but not least going to take our header and place it into the corresponding slots at the top of the rack. It's important to remember, again, the orientation of your header. You want to make sure that the front decal of your header is facing the front side of your rack. I hope you found this video helpful today, and as always, thank you from everybody at Vulcan for doing business with us.